A city transformed from bustling streets to eerie silence. New York City, the city that never sleeps, a symphony of noise, a kaleidoscope of cultures, a place where dreams were made, where anything was possible. But that was before the silence fell. Walk down any street today and you'll feel it. An emptiness, a quiet that chills you to the bone. The laughter, the music, the shouts of vendors all gone. The lifeblood of the city, drained away. Gone are the families crowding into bodegas, the scent of spices filling the air. Gone are the taxi horns, the street performers, the hum of countless conversations in a dozen languages. The city's vibrancy, its soul, has been ripped away. In its place, a haunting stillness. Empty storefronts stare back at you, windows plastered with for lease signs. The streets are eerily clean, devoid of the usual hustle and bustle. New York City is a shell of its former self. The seeds of change, the 2023 immigration policies. It began, as many things do, with a promise to restore order, to protect American jobs, to secure the border. The 2023 Immigration Act, they called it. A solution, they said. The act, a web of complex legislation, tightened immigration controls drastically. Deportations, once a trickle, became a flood. Families torn apart, communities shattered. The American dream for many turned into a nightmare. The impact was immediate. Fear spread like wildfire through immigrant communities. The whispers started: ICE raids, detentions, disappearances. The lucky ones, they said, were already gone. But the architects of this new America didn't anticipate the consequences. The economic engine of cities like New York, fueled by immigrant labor, began to sputter. The cultural tapestry, woven from threads of 1,000 different heritages, started to unravel. The economic fallout: empty storefronts and silent factories. The economic impact was swift and brutal. Restaurants, once bustling with life, now stood empty, their tables gathering dust. Construction sites, once hives of activity, fell silent. The backbone of the city, the service industry, manufacturing, construction, all crippled by a lack of workers. The numbers told the story. Businesses shuttered, unemployment rose, tax revenues plummeted. The city's once booming economy was in freefall. The promise of prosperity had backfired, leaving behind a trail of economic devastation. The ripple effect was felt across all sectors. Real estate prices plummeted as demand dried up. Schools and hospitals, starved of funding, struggled to stay afloat. The city that never sleeps was caught in a downward spiral. But the true cost wasn't just measured in dollars and cents. It was measured in lost dreams, shattered aspirations, and a future shrouded in uncertainty. A city stripped of its soul, the cultural impact of deportations. New York City, a melting pot of cultures, a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of 1,000 different heritages. But the deportations ripped at the fabric of the city, leaving behind a void. The streets, once alive with the sounds of 12 different languages, fell silent. The aroma of spices from street vendors, the rhythmic beat of salsa music from corner bodegas, all faded into memory. Neighborhoods, once vibrant hubs of cultural exchange, became shadows of their former selves. The soul of the city, the very essence of its identity, was slowly being extinguished. The loss was more than just aesthetic. It was a loss of shared stories, of traditions passed down through generations. It was a loss of the very thing that made New York City unique, its diversity. Section 5. Beyond the Big Apple echoes in Los Angeles, Miami, and Chicago. New York was not alone. Across the nation, from the sun-drenched streets of Los Angeles to the Art Deco architecture of Miami, from the bustling heartland of Chicago to the quiet suburbs, the impact of the deportations was felt. In Los Angeles, the agricultural heartland of California, fields lay fallow, crops rotting on the vine for lack of hands to harvest them. Restaurants, once staffed by immigrants eager to build a better life, struggled to find workers. Miami, a city built on the waves of successive migrations from Latin America, saw its cultural vibrancy dimmed. The sounds of salsa and merengue faded, replaced by an uneasy silence. In Chicago, a city with a long history of welcoming immigrants, the impact was felt most keenly in the neighborhoods. Churches and community centers, once sanctuaries for new arrivals, struggled to support families torn apart. Section 6. Torn apart. The human cost of deportation policies. Beyond the economic figures and the political rhetoric lay the human cost of the deportations. These policies, often discussed in terms of numbers and statistics, have a profound and devastating impact on real people, real families, and real lives. Families torn apart, children separated from their parents, lives upended. The emotional and psychological scars left behind are deep and lasting, affecting not just those deported, but also the loved ones left behind. The emotional toll was immeasurable. Maria, a single mother of two, had come to New York from Ecuador 20 years ago, seeking a better life for her children. She built a life from scratch, facing numerous challenges but always persevering for the sake of her family. She worked tirelessly, cleaning offices to put food on the table and send her children to school. Her dedication and hard work were a testament to her love and commitment to her family. One day, on her way home from work, she was stopped for a broken taillight. What seemed like a minor inconvenience quickly turned into a nightmare. She never saw her children again. The pain of separation was unbearable, and the void left in her children's lives was something that could never be filled. Carlos, a dreamer brought to the US as a child, had known no other home. His entire life, his friends, his dreams were all rooted in the United States. He excelled in school, graduated with honors, and dreamed of becoming a doctor. His future seemed bright, filled with endless possibilities. But his dreams were shattered when he was detained during a routine traffic stop and deported to a country he barely remembered. The life he had built, the future he had envisioned, was taken away in an instant. These stories, multiplied thousands of times over, painted a picture of heartbreak and despair. Each deportation left behind a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives. The human cost of the deportations, etched in the tears of mothers separated from their children, in the shattered dreams of those who believed in the promise of America. These are not just stories. They are the lived experiences of countless individuals who sought a better life, only to have it torn away. Section 7. Adapting to a new reality, a glimpse into the future. 5 years on, the initial shock of the deportations has given way to a grim acceptance of a new reality. The bustling streets that once defined the city are now eerily silent, a stark reminder of the drastic changes that have taken place. Cities like New York, once bursting at the seams, are quieter, emptier. The vibrant energy that once pulsed through the streets has faded, leaving behind a ghostly calm. The pace of life, once frenetic, has slowed. People move more deliberately, as if weighed down by the collective memory of what was lost. Businesses, faced with labor shortages, have turned to automation, replacing human workers with machines. Robots now perform tasks that were once the domain of human hands. The robots don't complain, don't need healthcare, don't form unions. They work tirelessly, efficiently, but without the human touch that once added a layer of connection to everyday transactions. But they also don't contribute to the cultural richness that once characterized American cities. Theaters remain dark, art galleries empty, and the vibrant cultural tapestry has unraveled. Some argue that this is the future, a future of efficiency and order, unburdened by the complexities of diversity. They see a streamlined society, free from the chaos of human unpredictability. Others mourn the loss of the nation's soul, its vibrancy, its spirit of openness and opportunity. They remember a time when diversity was celebrated, not shunned. The future remains uncertain, a blank canvas upon which the consequences of the 2023 Immigration Act are still being written. Each day brings new challenges and new opportunities to redefine what America stands for. Will America retreat further into itself, or will it find a way to embrace its immigrant heritage and build a more just and equitable future for all? The answer lies in the choices we make today. Section 8. A Crossroads for America. A question of values and identity. The mass deportations of 2025 have forced America to confront a fundamental question. What kind of nation does it want to be? A nation of walls and exclusion, or a nation of bridges and inclusion? The answer to this question will determine the future of the nation. Will America continue down the path of division and fear, or will it choose unity and compassion? The choice is ours. We can choose to build a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive regardless of where they were born, or we can choose to turn our backs on our history as a nation of immigrants, and in doing so, turn our backs on ourselves. The time for complacency is over. The future of America hangs in the balance. Section 9. A call to action. Bridging divides and shaping a more just future. We, the people, have the power to shape the future of our nation. This is not just a responsibility but a privilege that we must embrace with all our hearts and minds. We can choose to remain silent in the face of injustice, or we can raise our voices and demand a better tomorrow. Silence is complicity, and our voices are our most powerful tools for change. Here's what you can do. Educate yourself. Learn about the history of immigration in America and the impact of current policies. Knowledge is power, and understanding the past helps us navigate the future. Share your knowledge with others. Conversations can spark change, and sharing what you learn can inspire others to take action. Support organizations. Donate your time or money to organizations that are fighting for immigrant rights. Every contribution, no matter how small, makes a difference. Contact your representatives. Make your voice heard. Your elected officials need to know where you stand on these critical issues. Tell your elected officials that you support humane immigration policies. Policies that reflect our values of compassion and justice. Engage in dialogue. Talk to your friends, family, and neighbors about immigration. These conversations can break down barriers and build understanding. Listen to their perspectives and share your own. Listening is as important as speaking. It fosters empathy and mutual respect. The fight for a just and compassionate immigration system is a fight for the soul of America. It is about who we are and who we aspire to be as a nation. It is a fight we cannot afford to lose. The stakes are too high, and the consequences too dire. Together, let us build a nation where everyone has the opportunity to contribute, to belong, and to thrive. A nation that celebrates diversity and inclusion. Let us choose hope over fear. Hope is the light that guides us through the darkest times. Let us choose unity over division. Unity is our strength, and together we are unstoppable. Let us choose love over hate. Let us choose America, an America that stands for justice, equality, and compassion for all.